Welcome to Crochet for Kids and Beginners. In part 3, we are learning how to single crochet. In part 1, we learned how to slip knot, how to hold our hook, and how to do chains. So we are combining all of those skills that we learned in part 1 and 2, and we are moving on to doing single crochets in this video, which is going to be the first stitch that you're going to learn. So after your slip knot, I want you to make some chains, and I want you to make 11 chains. So make sure you are counting them as you go. So because we are doing single crochets, this is our initial chain row. So this does not count as row 1, 2, or 3. This just counts as the very first part of your crochet project of whatever it is. So because we want 10 single crochets in the row, we want to make 11 chains in our initial chain row. So let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Perfect. So we want to make sure that we're counting each braid or V or also each bump that you see in each row. So to complete this single crochet row, we are going to single crochet in the second chain from the hook. So that is the second one, not the one that's right next to the hook. So to do a single crochet, we are going to insert our hook. We are going to yarn over and pull that yarn right through. And now we are going to have 2 loops on our hook. We are going to yarn over again, and then we are going to pull through both of those loops, and that is a single crochet. So let's do that again. We are going to insert our hook into the next chain. We're going to pull up that yarn right through that chain. And now we have 2 loops on our hook, and we're going to yarn over and pull through that yarn through both of those loops. There is your single crochet. Now let's do that again. We are going to insert our hook into that chain. We are going to pull up the yarn with 2 loops on our hook, and we're going to yarn over and pull through both of those loops on your hook. So that is your single crochet. It is really easy, and once you do it a few times, you will definitely get used to how you are going to be yarning over and pulling through. It takes some practice on how to hold everything with your left hand. And it also takes some practice on how you are yarning over with your left hand. So if you feel like you need to let go and just pick up the yarn and yarn over your hook, feel free to do that. It takes some practice to figure out how you are comfortable holding everything when you are crocheting. So that will take time and that will take practice. So just be patient with yourself and just go slow. But we are just finishing our row and completing all of our single crochets, and we are going to be doing 10 single crochets. So let's do one more time. We are going to insert our hook, pull up that yarn, pull through 2 loops, and we are single crocheting throughout the row there. So now we've reached the last stitch. And after every row of single crochets, you're going to add a chain 1. So to indicate if you have done that and not forget it, when I first started crocheting, this is a great tip for me. If I see 2 loops there at the end of my row, that means I have not completed my chain 1. So once you chain 1, you're going to notice that there is just 1 loop there. So that helped me indicate that when I first started crocheting, just to remember that I did it. But we are done our first row of single crochets. So there is your 10 single crochets that you have completed. We are going to count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Perfect. So we have 10 single crochets and we have that chain 1 there. We do not count that. So we always crochet from right to left. So because of that, we want to turn our work when we are doing our second row. And we want to crochet from right to left. So when you finish a row, you'll be finished all the way to the left, and we want to turn our work and continue on all the way to the right so that we can crochet in that direction from right to left. So because we've already chained 1, we are now going to single crochet in every single stitch that's across, which is going to be 10 stitches. You're going to see this beautiful braid that is on top of that row, and that is going to be your indicator of where you need to insert your hook. You're going to be inserting your hook underneath each of those braids, just like that. Do you see that? And that is your indicator of where you have to insert your hook and continue to single crochet. So we are going to insert our hook in that first stitch there, and we are going to continue making our single crochets exactly how we have been making them. So insert your hook. We are going to pull up that yarn, 2 loops on our hook. We're going to yarn over again and pull through both loops on our hook. And we are going to do that across to make 10 stitches. So insert your hook there, pull up that yarn over again, and pull through both loops. So this row will be a lot easier because the stitch is wider. With the chain, it might be a little harder to hold it just because there isn't much to hold of your project. Once you start working through a project and a lot has been done, it's easier to hold and definitely easier to continue to crochet. So as you continue through the rows and working them, it'll be a lot easier to hold your project. But here we are doing our second row, and it is definitely easier than just doing that first row. So our single crochet is coming along, and we are going to be completing our 10 single crochets across that row. Also keep in mind your tension is very important when you start to crochet. Do not crochet too tight. Do not crochet too loose. So you want to always have enough yarn pulled from the yarn ball so that you have enough slack is what we call it. So now we have completed our row 2 of our single crochets. There's the 2 bumps there. So that means you have not chained one yet. That is a good indicator. So there we go. We have chained 1 to complete our row 2. So there is how your row 1 and 2 of single crochets looks. Always count your stitches when you're done your rows. So let's make sure we have 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Perfect. We did it. Now on to part 4, where we are going to learn how to double crochet. So make sure to check that out.